Hello and welcome to the Rumble. I'm here with Matt the Bulldog Bollinger. And Kelly, I'm not allowed to call her the mouth of the South anymore, but what the hell? Mount Kelly, the mouth of the South.
Hello.
Anyway, what are we talking about today? What is the story?
So I do have a question that I want your opinion on, both of your opinions. And it is, does the real estate market right now feel really weird to you too, where you put great listings on, priced right, can't get showings? Why?
Smoking too much herb, bro. The society is smoking too much herb, have no motivation to do anything, can't get past their front door. Damn kids these days.
Yeah, right.
Okay, anyway, Kelly, what's your opinion?
No, I agree with that.
Smoking herb? That does it?
See? Do you see
Yep.
what I said? It doesn't matter what I'd like to talk about because it's going to be off subject anyway, so don't ask me that question.
Okay, your opinion on my question.
My opinion on that is I 100% agree with you.
What
It has
is-
been totally different in expectations.
It just it just changed though, like overnight.
did.
Like say August, maybe September. I don't know. Couple months ago, it just was like.
Yes, and that's according to the area because I did have a situation where I was in competition with new builds, and when the interest rate was fluctuating, the new builds had a lot of incentives out there that we had to compete with.
They're
so
doing
if you're in a newer community and trying to sell a year-old house, it was a real struggle.
Oh yeah, I'll bet. Because they're offering what 1.75 first year, 2.75 second year, 3.75 third year, 4.75 fixed.
Right, and paying closing costs.
And now with rates at almost 7. How do you compete
that
with
was my experience. But yes,
that is the danger of buying in a big, huge new community.
Correct.
If you have to sell before they're finished, it's going to be tough.
Right, agreed.
What about
when you have no
John?
equity.
Wah. I'm a professional, man. I can sell in any market.
Okay.
Okay. And no, seriously. Okay.
No, everybody can sell in any market. It's just
not everybody can.
Where did the buyers go?
Well, I think the problem doesn't start with the buyers. Yes, we have a limited buying pool. Yes, we're all waiting for the election to decide what's going on.
I think that
we're
might
waiting
be part
for
of it.
money. Yes, we're doing all this, but that doesn't solve the problem of everybody that's got their house listed right now. Chances are that if you got a house listed right now, it's probably overpriced.
So you think it's price and rates, or mostly price?
Well, I think we have a bleed over from the price and the interest rate nightmare. And now we've just gone up yet again. And we have an election here in 14 days or less? I don't know the exact number, but I'm sure one of the kids running this place will correct me, which is 7 days or less. Thank you very much. Are you going to make this financial decision of 100, 200, 300, 400, $500,000, 500? You're gonna make a decision.
So if I'm gonna be smart about it and I've got the money, then yeah, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna offer for a house that I really want, and I'm gonna try to get everything I can.
Absolutely.
Well, sellers are getting offended because buyers are coming in lower. But wouldn't you, as a buyer, want to come in lower
right now for sure?
Just to see what's going on. Oh my God, you've been on the market for 100 days. Shizzle. I'm going 30,000 below, and you better smile and grin it about it because you got an offer.
That's what I'm saying. I think that if I were buying right now, that's the tactic that I would use.
Hell, we had an offer the other day, $30,000 below, and he put multiple offers on other houses.
Right.
Now, to me, I think that was a strategic move. In other words, I've got this offer. He's putting offers on the other house. I've got one finally, like the fish. I don't care what size it is. I'm getting his ass in the boat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Start negotiating. Start having conversations. It doesn't all have to be on paper, Matt. If I need to, and you're the agent on the other side, I'm going to pick up and go, okay, hey, we've got something here.
Right.
Everybody's on terms. Let's see if we can create terms that appeases both parties, or both parties are not happy.
Right.
Because if you can make both parties not happy, that means you did your job in being the neutral, right? If you brought them together.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the time that buyers should be out there trying to find their dream home, trying at their dream price.
Trying to find that deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Taking
that's what I
advantage
think about
of how much negotiations can go into this kind of transaction in this market, because once the rat race hits again, then it's a whole different ball game. You got bidding wars, you got the prices going up on houses. I think this is a great time to buy, actually.
Well, now I will tell you the old, what was it? Date the rate, date the house.
Marry the house, date the rate.
Right. Yeah, that
I always get that messed up. Okay, and it's all bad. But anyway, I think that's not looking real good right now.
I agree.
That's not looking good. The people that spun it that way, I hope that wasn't your marketing plan, because if so, you're looking pretty foolish right now. But because it's beyond our control as agents, we can't control what the financial market does.
Right.
If we could, we'd be turning knobs left and right.
Right.
Okay. But what we can control is the expectations of the seller and the buyer. Okay. You have a chance at a good deal here. They're going to come back to you probably on a counter. You need to start measuring if this is the house you want and kind of see at what point that you're going to work with these folks.
Right.
If you're the type of buyer that goes, nope, 50,000 below asking, or so I'm not buying, then don't buy.
Agreed.
Don't buy.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're someone that wants to come in at 30,000 below asking and the guy comes back at, let's say, 15,000 below asking, now you've got a conversation.
Correct.
And as a real estate agent, my goal is to create that conversation. Once I create that conversation, I have done my job, that I can sit down between two parties, whether and negotiate what works. Nobody needs to get offended because somebody came in with a low offer. They just need to understand that's the market we're in.
Right. I think we're going to see some price adjustment. We're seeing it on adjustments already. If you look at the numbers, what is it, like 15% of homes that are on the market right now have price reductions already. Mm-hmm. So I think that number is actually going to go up.
Oh, yeah.
And it should probably. I mean, I think we got ahead of it. We got out over our skis a little bit on pricing.
Right.
And the comps worked, and they will work for 6 months, but then all of a sudden they won't.
Right.
And that's going to also affect, I think, where people close.
But I'm not worried about the market per se. People need a place to live.
Oh, 100%. There's always people that need to move for jobs, whatever it is.
And if
estates.
If you're a hardworking agent and you do your job right, and you put yourself in a position to represent your buyers, your sellers, and you educate them, because I truly believe my job is not necessarily a real estate agent to make sales. Mm-hmm. It's to educate buyers and sellers.
I agree with that. My question, I think, and the premise of it is traffic. Where did the traffic go, though? That's the weird part to me.
I'm going to throw you for a loop. I really just think that we're tired. People are tired.
They're spending a lot of money on everything else.
Tired of seeing ads, tired of seeing this, tired of people fighting with each other. And summer was brutally hot. Oh,
it was.
Right? Weather's getting ready to change. Winter visitors, I'm not sure have quite made it here yet.
Usually right around November 1st, I would say.
So I think we're going to have a little bit of change in the market there. So anybody with a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, beautiful, or
townhome, something like that. Yeah.
Like that's probably going to do
I'll throw another opinion out here. Possibly that agents are not explaining the new law with the buyer employment agreement. And I think it's scared off some of the buyers where they don't want to look at houses right now because they don't understand.
So you think people think they're locked into paying something? Yeah,
correct. Because the explanation has not been there. When honestly, things have not really changed at all.
No. Nothing's changed. You just have to, you know what's changed? The agent has to explain the process properly and communicate to them what the obligation of the buyer and the seller is.
Correct.
And that they need to understand it's all negotiable. Mm-hmm. But if the agent don't do their job, then it puts everybody in a weird position. Mm-hmm. People get scared. People don't want to.
People think they're locked in for 6 months.
Yeah.
You could write it for one day. You could write it for one house, one address.
Right. We wrote one for one house the other day.
Yeah.
Correct.
And the buyer's like, I don't want to sign this.
Right.
And we're like, not a problem. So we didn't show the house.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's the law, right? Mm-hmm. That's the rule. I don't want to use the word law because it's not a law. It's a rule. That's the rule. Mm-hmm. And they're probably going to come back around in a couple of weeks. I'm sure our agent, who happened to be Kelly, is sticking with them close and talking to them and providing them information. But it really, all this falls back on us to educate the buyer/sellers on how this works. If we don't have that conversation properly, they're going to turn around and run tail. Wait, I don't want to pay you anything. When they don't realize that chances are, and I don't have a figure here.
Okay. Agents need to step up and do their job.
Because these changes just happened and nobody got educated.
Correct.
Okay, nobody got educated.
Well, I think even agents are kind of in limbo a little bit on it because the full settlement, which created the rule, has not been approved yet.
I bet you if you polled half the agents out in the community, some of them would just look at you like, yeah, I really don't know how to explain that properly.
No, I bet you're right on that. And I think it takes a while for people. Well, like you said, but people don't like change. But at the same time, this is gonna happen regardless. So people need to start educating those buyers, because they're not going to get into anything unless they go to an open house without signing that document.
Yeah, you can go to an open house and go see a house. Okay, but what if you're over there checking on your listing and the car pulls up and someone says, "Hey, we're interested in this house. Can you show it to me?"
Not unless they sign that document.
So you got to pull that document out of your tail and go, "Yeah, but you got to sign here first." Put your shoe.
It's awkward.
Put yourself in the shoes of those buyers. You're going to sign it to somebody you don't know, never talk to, just to walk into a house?
And if they love the house,
should I pull out my open house signs, throw them up real quick, and say, "Open house, come on in"?
Well, I guess that'd be one workaround I haven't thought about.
Well, if you have to use the word workaround, that's not the way to go.
Yeah, true.
It's not the way to go. What else anyway, you got going on? Oh, how about our amazing podcast with the Jack?
That was fun.
Matt had a few too many beers. Got a little had a little good time.
No such
there.
thing.
Well, shout out to the Jack. They were an amazing guest, and we got their podcast coming out soon. But what else are we doing today? We're just going to sit here and talk about this fantastic news you're providing about you're nervous about the market. How the hell am I going to convince buyers?
I'm not nervous about the market. I'm just.
He said it was weird.
It is. It feels different. And I've been doing this for 20 years.
So was my second wife, but I stayed married to that for 2 years, 10 years.
You can't remember?
Oh, no, it was 10. The first one.
It was 2, felt like 10.
Oh, dude, it was 10. Felt like 100.
My point is being proven throughout any podcast. When you say, "What would you like to talk about today?"
Whatever.
Whatever, man. I'm just rolling with the punches.
Bro, is that candy corn? Chuck it over here, man. Who doesn't love candy corn?
I hate candy corn.
It's
like eating a candle. Sugar. It's like eating. It's just gross.
Well, we talked last week at the Market Minute there with Ryan. We've got 2 programs completely in existence right now, Lighthouse 5.0, 5 and 6.0. Don't quote me on those numbers because I'm choking on
and there's
candy
still
corn.
Money they haven't used,
and they haven't used it all.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are looking to get your buyers out, you need to talk to them about the money that's available to use, because if not, next time around, if this money doesn't get used, they'll take the budget and lower it.
And they make you go through those programs, make you go through like a home buying class and things like that, where
I failed it.
where you learn the rules of what it's going to be, the responsibilities of home ownership, the financial piece, whatever it is. So, I mean, I think they do a good job. I just think that it's not being maybe promoted enough by lenders and by agents with first-time home buyers, because it's a first-time home buyer program.
Do you think agents have gotten lazy? Or
is it anybody?
Do you think agents have gotten lazy?
I think that in the last, say, from 2018 to 2022, maybe, yeah, I think that things have been easy. I don't think that there's as many agents out there who have worked in a more difficult real estate environment. And I mean, they weren't even writing Benzers.
Right.
For 2 years. It was like, do I need to fix this before I list my house? No, don't fix anything.
Right.
It's going to be fine. We're not doing anything. And that worked because
sometimes
there were so
you didn't
many
have to put
buyers.
a sign up.
Yeah. So, and now there's, you got to market your properties. You got to find ways to get people in them. You got to really work at it. And it's funny because it kind of goes, so it's always in cycles no matter what, but it kind of goes with, historically anyway, where when things are really, really good, everybody's, working in real estate, it's easy, whatever. And then you lose 20% of agents when things get tough. Oh, I don't know that I'd want to be working with those people anyway.
Right? You think you lose more than 20%?
I don't know what the number is, but it's pretty high. I mean,
they're running for the doors like a bad science fiction movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true.
I think you had a good point, though. When the market was really hot, you really didn't have to talk about anything. Everything was selling itself. Yeah. It's just trying to get your foot in the door just to show that property. Now you have all these resources that you forget to talk about.
Right.
And so we have to
get back to that.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And I so hope we, and when I say a generation, I'm not talking age. I'm talking agents that have come into the market when it was really strong, okay? Mm-hmm. So I feel that we have a generation of real estate agents that don't like to have conversations on the phone. don't like to have a conversation in general, and just want to text their way through a transaction,
Right.
which is not doing any favors to their buyer or sellers. They just think that's going to handle it, and they refuse to communicate in any other way.
Right.
Is it because they really don't know how to have a real estate conversation, and this buys them time as far as to find answers? Or is that just who we're dealing with, and that's just the people we have to deal with as far as communication? I am a true believer of picking up the phone. Kelly, let's talk about this. Matt, I know we don't agree, but let's see if we can find common ground. I don't know if y'all know this, but that's what they teach you to how to be a real estate agent. Your job is to find a mutual agreement between two parties.
Right.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Not, it's just John from...
The problem also with texting, and it's just words. There's no
emotions.
Yeah, they're like you can't really tell.
You can't read the emotion in a text a lot of times, unless it's
or the urgency. Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, we need this decision quickly. You're probably not going to get it that way. But how many people do you call and then on their message it says, if you want to get a quicker response, text me.
Right.
Like, how's that quicker? You're using the same phone,
and you don't have to use your thumbs. Okay.
That just seems like the dumbest thing to me ever.
Well, I think one of the worst things for the real estate industry is the sleazy ass shows that are on TV. Selling Manhattan, whatever that one is in LA.
Selling Sunset.
Yeah. I mean, is that realistic at all?
I'm not familiar with those markets, but I can't imagine.
That dress.
That's true.
All right.
Thank God.
Well, no. We talked about, the Selling Sunset, Selling Manhattan. Is that realistic? No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't think so either.
Because it's all produced for TV, number one, but people don't buy real estate like that. They don't, it's not, I don't know. I think they rent for a Ferrari to go show a house. That's what I think they do.
So you're thinking it's kind of like MTV Cribs where they rent the house.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then that's not the real estate world. That's not really how it happens. Now, it may happen in those markets. I may not know it. And maybe I'm naive. Okay. But let me just tell you. Kelly's over here jumping out of her shoes, and she has something to interject.
I'm going to interject. It is Hollywood, and it is drama, and it is about entertainment. But you can look up these brokerages, and they're real brokerages with many, 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 many agents that don't appear on the show.
You watch the show.
I've seen the shows, yeah.
Y'all watch the show?
I've seen them.
Yeah, because, I'm constantly going, okay.
Yeah, same.
But you got a handful. You have, maybe 8 women. I didn't count. But the ones that bring the most entertainment, they're going to have on the show. Do they sell things every now and then? Yes, but I'm sure they have people in the background running their transactions while they're showing the houses. It's their drama that
makes
they use
people
for the
watch.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
But if you look up these brokerages, they have many agents selling houses, and they're thriving. So props to the agents that are actually working.
All right, that's nice. We didn't want to talk bad about an agent, just bad about a show.
Just saying.
When you're a broker in New York City, this is what you want.
Yeah.
You want to be able to have relationships with architects, with general contractors, with interior designers, with developers, so they look to you and they trust you, right? Yeah. It's about trust. Mm-hmm. In this city, in this business, you want to have buildings like this, which is the whole reason that I brought you on. Yeah. But if you don't act professional, and if you make podcasts in my podcast studio that I pay for, that's there for you to get business, to do more sales, and if you use them to badmouth and gossip about other agents, not even at other companies. I would 5% of me would probably understand if you did it and you were pissed off at an agent that screwed you on a deal. But 95% of me don't understand.
This is in your protection.
No, wait, stop. No, stop. Because it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You don't go on public and you don't badmouth other agents. You don't use company resources and talk shit about other agents. I don't care what you think about them. I don't care what they think about you. You're either gonna hold yourself to a higher standard at this company or go start your own fucking company. There's plenty of other brokerages out there who don't care about professionalism, about ethics, about sales. They don't care.
Yeah.
This company's very, very, very different. You understand? You spend so much of your time trying to get noticed instead of spending your time trying to be great. If you spent half your time just trying to be great, you'd be so great, everyone would have to notice you. Anytime you associate yourself with any negativity, it is a negative reflection on you. And because I allow you to work with me, it is then a negative reflection on me and then a negative reflection on the whole company. So you need to take that podcast down everywhere that you have. I already took care of it on our side, but you're gonna apologize to Savannah. And if you don't, you're gonna have whatever kind of career you want, but it's not gonna be with me. Do you understand? Oh, well, all right, I'm out.
Tell me where you gonna run to.
I think that's actually real. You can't do that.
No.
It's just, and he's I think being a good broker for calling him out on it. What do you think? Well, you can't do it. It's ethically, you cannot bash somebody else.
No.
I think that's the longest neck I've ever seen on a human.
That guy needs to sell out houses
business.
just to pay for that ink.
There was a lot of ink there.
Yeah.
I appreciate my relationships with even agents from other brokerages that we've continued to work on different transactions with.
Okay, so let's talk about other agents on the other side. Nothing's better than an agent who takes their job seriously and wants to work as hard as they can for their client, because then you have the same goals, right?
Correct.
All right. If you have somebody that just wants to talk shit constantly, then you're going to have issues. It's obvious. You're going to know right when you get the offer whether it's going to be a nightmare or not.
Right.
Now, unfortunately for me, I just have to deal with it. It's not about the agents. It's really about the two parties that come together. So if, let's just say Stoner is a agent, okay, and Stoner brings me an offer and then we find out he doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't mean that we don't recommend the offer. We look at the offer, not the agent on the other side, okay? And then it is our job to take care of anything that the other agent's inadequacies are.
Right.
And it's not really our job, but it's just a courtesy, right?
Well, technically, I think it is your job because you've been hired by one side to get them the best possible deal and that you can. So I think that you do end up picking up the slack for agents that aren't doing.
I don't have a problem with that.
No, neither do I.
Nothing's better than when an agent calls me and said, "Hey, John, I've got an offer here. I'm a brand new agent. Gonna have to work with me here a little bit."
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
And without breaking the veil and the promise to your seller or your buyer, you can help establish, hey, here's what you need. Don't forget to get the spud signed.
Right, sure.
Don't forget to get me a copy of the insurance history report. It's okay to help them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you can't tell them negotiations.
No.
You can't get into numbers with them, but you
can keep a deal on the rails in terms of key dates, timelines, things like that. Yeah.
I had a client one time, they submitted an offer. I knew that my seller wanted to get rid of the washer and dryer. I knew it. They didn't want to take it. They were going to leave it no matter what. And this client sends me this offer, and I said, "Well, hey, didn't you want the washer and dryer?" And they said, "We were afraid to ask for it because we really want the house." Now, do I go back and say, "You can have the washer and dryer if you want it," or do I just keep my mouth shut?
I think you keep your mouth shut.
You think?
Yeah, because it's what the deal is supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you would. At the end of the day, I think your client, your seller, could say, "Hey," after you get through, I would say probably the due diligence period.
There you go.
If they accept it, then you could say, "Hey, if you guys want this, we're gonna leave it. Otherwise, we're gonna donate it or sell it or whatever it's gonna be."
There's more cushion throughout the due diligence period.
You hit it right on, right? More cushion for the pushing. Okay. So what we did is we waited for the repair request.
Yeah.
And we negotiated the washer and dryer with the repair request.
I think that's the way to go.
We made it a negotiable item. What else is negotiable item? Home warranties, right? Refrigerators. All that stuff can be negotiated. I highly recommend that none of my sellers just put that out there. I want them to come. I want the buyer to come ask me because they have value in their head for those things and money in their head. And if I say, "I'll tell you what, you can have my washer and dryer, you can have my beautiful brand new refrigerator, but we're going to take $3,000 off the price of the house or add it to it," okay, depending on what the situation is, we have another point to have a discussion about.
Right. It's all part of the negotiation, and it all does have value. It's all part of the bottom line for both sides.
Agreed.
Agreed?
Yeah.
All right, what else you got, Mr. Matthew?
Good news! I got my first real job as an actual UPS guy. They said I was the last non-robot they're ever gonna hire.
Yeah, it's great, buddy. You narrowly escaped becoming a realtor. Hi, are you the realtor for this property?
I am. I blew out my shoulder playing minor league baseball, so now I do this.
Realtors, never anyone's plan A.
How's that shoulder, Matt?
Got surgery on the 15th, actually. But I think that, and that's kind of funny, but I think that realtors have a pretty bad reputation overall, and I'm not sure 100% why, other than what we talked about earlier, which is there's a lot of agents that are not doing their job.
What'd you do before this? You knew that was coming.
God, it's been 20 years ago. Opened retail locations for a big company.
Kelly, what'd you used to do?
I was a bartender, and then I was I worked at banks. I was a teller, associate banker. That's it.
That's
then I
it.
was a
I'm
real
waiting.
estate
And you
agent.
were, so I used to be a plumber. And I'm not talking just any plumber. I'm talking in the ditch, hanging out with the sewer, white mice floating by, the whole scenario.
To drink the water.
Never drink the water. Never chew your fingernails. Never chew your fingernails. Payday's on Friday and water goes downhill. That's all you need to know as a plumber. And you'll be successful, but definitely never chew your fingernails. So then I decided that I know so much about the world that I decided to become a real estate agent. I mean, heck, I could do it.
There's two scenarios. There's probably more than that, but the two scenarios that are very obvious is when you become a real estate agent. Either somebody becomes a real estate agent thinking it's going to be fun and easy money because that is what's in people's head. That's easy. All they do is show a house and they get.
I blame those people from
commission.
Texas about that.
So they come in thinking it's easy money. Once they find out it's actual work and investing your time, investing your money, they're either going to fall out or they're going to persevere through and see the seriousness of it and thrive.
It's the biggest financial transaction most people make.
It is.
And they need good guidance on it.
So when I was in real estate school many, many years ago, the words were used, we don't need more real estate agents, we need better.
I'm curious, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that they should require more education and make it harder to become a realtor?
I think it absolutely should be harder, and I actually think you should have to go through a mentorship. We had the home inspector in here, and they had to do a mentorship, like 30 inspections or something.
Yeah.
How does that guy get more accountability than us, an agent? All you have to be is 18 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was a mistake along the way. I don't know if it was just a money grab for licensing and schooling and all the other stuff or what it was, but there's a lot of people out there that probably shouldn't be in this industry. But if they had made it a lot harder to become an agent, I think overall you'd have a lot smaller pool and the representation people got would be a lot better.
Yeah, I will say that, the cream rises to the top. When I was 18, I did go to real estate school. You may not know this about me, but I did go to real estate school, Brodsky School of Real Estate.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Is that where you went, Steve? Sat front row. That guy smoked like a chimney, smelled like cigarettes. He's no longer with us, so I can kind of talk about him a little bit. But he was a teacher, and there are certain people that can relate to that kind of teacher. I was not one of them. Could you imagine? I didn't have a car. I didn't have money. I didn't have anything in order to be able to become this agent. And I had asked my girlfriend to marry me. And the father, when I met the father, they sat down at the table and he goes, "What do you do, Mr. Smith?" I said, "Oh, I'm in real estate school." And he looked at me and said, "Then what?" Then what? And I didn't ever think of then what. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to sell some houses. I didn't have $1. I didn't have a car to go show anything. And what people do when they get in this business, it's expensive to be an agent. It's not cheap to be your career. You actually have to pay a brokerage to work there.
You have to investigate a return in this business,
right?
For sure.
So I came in, and by the way, I went to the bar instead of school and obviously did not get my license when I was 18.
But you became a very good dart player.
I did play some darts. Yep. But I did drink a lot of beer, drink a lot of whiskey. Woke up in a lot of strange places, like the dog pound once. I don't want to get into that. But the bottom line is that I think when people go into this business, they see those shows, which has not done us a favor, okay? And they don't realize that it does cost money to be in this business. Now, who started out with a little bit of money in their business, or did you just start out flat broke and just hoped it worked?
Well, in my case, I had a good support system.
Okay.
Because Jason still worked, and at this point in time, he said, "Hey, you've always wanted to do this. This is a good time between us where I can work and you go into your real estate and build your business." So that was a perk on mine. A lot of agents don't have that luxury.
Right. No, my wife's a school teacher.
Right.
And people go, "Oh, and thought she was an agent." Well, yeah, but somebody has to feed us.
But sometimes those make the best agents who have to get in there.
All I want is her Sphere.
Yes.
Okay.
Say it together.
Yes.
Sphere.
I think it's
phonics with Kelly.
It was a long time ago, 20 years ago, but I was probably not in a situation where I could have made a run at it myself, but I was fortunate that I joined a team with a family member, and they were already successful in it. So I learned a lot that way, but I wasn't kind of under the gun to.
What's her name? Let's give her a shout out today.
Cecilia Terry.
She
was a great agent, learned a lot.
Well,
and an even better mother-in-law.
And my mother was an agent too in a different state.
So yeah, my mom was an agent too. Very short amount of time, but she was an agent. I got into this business just by taking a plunge. I had no money, none. I was either going to make it or not. Oh, the plunge was a good play of words.
I see where you went.
See where I went there? But I had no money. I had no idea how this system would work. I didn't have the right clothes. I didn't have anything. But then I thought that I had to be somebody that they were teaching me to be at the academy, and I wasn't selling anything. And then one day I woke up, threw a pair of shorts on and tennis shoes and a T-shirt, and I was myself, and I sold my first house.
I think that when your back's against the wall a little bit, though, to earn money, it does make you
hungry.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell everybody. I don't want you just hungry. I want you starving. If you want to be successful in this business, you better chase down the wolf's leg and chew on it and spit it back out at him. All right? You've got to be...
First time that's ever been said in the English language.
You know what? But I said it.
Okay, but it's true. Know what the hell it means.
Well, it means you've got to be so starving you're willing to eat the back end of a wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And I could have used the skunk, but no, I didn't. I said a wolf. It's hairy. It's foul.
What's a wolf?
Oh, that's a fucking wolf.
Let's come up with a list.
What do you think fucking wolf is?
Words that John says differently.
Are y'all done?
A wolf.
I got you here.
Okay.
Wolf.
No, going back to what you said, and you'll remember this.
All right.
No, I'm going to give props to you.
I'm going to ask.
Hold on to
my hat that doesn't match my shirt.
When I started out in real estate, and you remember this, I was totally lost. I was taught how to pass that test. I passed the test, and then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? John was holding a contract writing class at our last brokerage, and sometimes it was just two people. Sometimes it was just you and I. Yeah. And that was an option that you had more education, but it was just an option. So unless you use the resources, and I would highly advise you look at the brokerage.
Just so you know, I do get bigger crowd sizes.
You do. But at that time, they didn't take the opportunity to go in and learn.
Agreed.
So it's on the agent to use the resources that are provided to them to learn and to find a mentor. That is huge.
Sitting in the office waiting for the phone to ring as a new agent is
the
not
kiss of
going
death.
to work ever.
The wolf.
And unfortunately, it is an option. Here's your real estate license.
Well, it's the only option some people have.
And then you don't have to go into any classes unless it's all the requirement continuing education.
I sat here in this building that we're in right now for 30 days before any education started. I had no idea what I was doing. Mm-hmm. I'd come home and wife would say, "Hey, baby, how was work today?" And I go, "I fell asleep at a desk." Okay.
I think it should be harder. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And then back to the whole original question.
And it would weed out
I see crappy jobs out there that they're like master's degree preferred. I'm like, so they take you for 40 hours of classwork to pass a test, like you said. Mm-hmm. And then go.
Yeah, 7-Eleven's getting tough on their hiring practices. Yeah. All right. But do you think it should require a degree?
I don't think it necessarily has to require a degree.
To be an appraiser, you got to have a degree.
I don't know.
No, I think it takes more certification. I think it takes more internship.
I think,
maybe.
I think that a mentorship kind of thing, and then, you have to do it's kind of like becoming a broker or an associate broker. You have to be in the business for a certain number of years. You have to do a certain number of transactions during that time, and then you can go take the broker class and become a broker. Maybe just throw it all in there, and
maybe you should be a junior agent, and then you progress through as you sell something.
Yeah, something like that.
That you get so many clients to give you testimonials to go forward.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll revamp this whole damn system right now. Move over. I'm going to be the new real estate commissioner.
Even brokerages kind of weed out, the people that are sitting.
Brokerages, brokerages hire anybody and everybody that has a pulse because they're looking for money to come in any way they can.
But then when money doesn't come in, they're pretty quick.
What does it take long to hire, quick to fire is kind of the motto, So in other words, if you're not doing anything, then you're just taking up space.
Right.
And which is sad, right? Because then it all falls on the brokerage. They can just make you disappear, but did they educate you? Did they teach you properly? That's the question.
And like I said, you can interview a lot of brokerages, but the resources are there. It is on the agent to use those resources.
And the good thing,
it's optional. That's the bad part.
Well, what I can tell you about Kelly and I is we clicked, right? We were able to have communication. Kelly was open to learning. I was open to offering my knowledge, and it just worked. Doesn't mean that I'm the perfect mentor for everybody. There's some people in there that I walk in and go, okay, I can't work with that person because they're not aligned to my work ethic or the way I believe to do work. Doesn't mean they're a bad agent.
No.
But what it means is I'm not the right mentor for them. Okay. Look at Steve. He hates working here. All right. What do we got next?
That is the whole house. Again.
I love it, but I just don't love it. Do you love it? I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm just not sure if I'm in love with it.
Oh, yeah. We have an expression around the office for when a sale just isn't happening. Commission impossible.
First and foremost, if you're doing this because it's all about commission, you're doing it for the wrong reason. What? Wrong reason? The wrong reason. You're doing it for the wrong reason. There is an old saying in our office that if you take care of the people, the commission will come. So if you're going in your eyes and you, as Kelly has called it, and tell me if I'm just out of my mouth, I think this might have been Jen Tricola that said this. She didn't want to get commission breath. In other words, all commission all the time, only think about a check. Because if that's all you need and that's all you're worried about, people are going to see that right on your shirt like a stained pickle that dropped off your hamburger.
You can't build relationships that way.
Correct. Because it really truly comes out that you've never dropped a pickle out of your hamburger on your shirt.
Yeah.
Okay then. So don't act like you're.
I didn't know that was a stained pickle.
I did. Well, I just named it.
I thought that was a stained shirt from a pickle.
You know what?
But I got you.
You figure it out. Work with me there,
stained
Chad.
Pickles. We're getting it.
You're standing out like a stained pickle.
Yeah. Because of your commission breath.
Yes.
Okay.
You've never heard of commission breath?
I hadn't actually, but
thank you, Kelly. You got my back.
But I think the best place to be in your business at some point, it can't happen right away because you need to make money, but is to be able to turn business away if you're not.
No, did that over the weekend and I threw up.
Yeah, it sucks still, but it's a good place to be.
That is a learned experience though, to turn, because when you come in as a new agent, you'll take
whatever.
Yeah.
You can tell pretty quick if it's going to be just a nightmare.
Yeah, if it's going to be a nightmare, I probably referred it to you.
I had this conversation before. I was like, you start to learn. You'll get red flags coming into it, and you don't want to tangle in some transactions and some client relationships. It's not worth it.
How many times have we heard clients go, I love this house? Okay.
A lot.
How many times have we heard people say, I like it, but I don't love it, but I don't have to love it to buy it?
Heard that.
Heard that too, right? I am telling you, when I sell you a house, if you're my buyer, one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, do you love this house? Because if you don't love it, you shouldn't buy it. Why? Because you have to wake up there for anywhere from 5 to 8 years, possibly 30. Mm-hmm. Okay? And you've got to make those payments. And nothing's worse than making a payment on something that you have instant regret on. So you better love that there's a pigeon coop next door. You better love that there's 7 cars parked in the parking lot. You better love that there's a giant ass squirrel living in the front yard. Okay.
Even if they go into a transaction knowing that they have a contingency, they're going to continue shopping and it's going to be a battle. So they need to love the house.
Well, I found out the people that don't love it, Kelly hit it right on. They don't stop shopping.
They don't.
Even in the middle of the
Nightmare.
transaction. You could be trying to close on one and they're still sending houses and they're still looking. Hey, what about this one? You're under contract. We can't go do this. But so that goes back to education. So my suggestion is if you have somebody under contract and they bought a house, turn off their searches. At least coming from you. Okay. Now, unless you're instructed otherwise, right? But turn off their searches. But guess what? They're still going to look. There's other platforms that start with Z, and there's other classes that start with R, okay, where they can all go look. But chances are, if you send them stuff, they're still going to shop. Anybody disagree?
No, I totally agree because that's happened, and I had to have the conversation. It is my job to help you protect your earnest money at this point in time.
That is your only job at that point. Exactly.
And so we don't want to look at Zillow. If you love this house, and our goal is to make it to closing. So this is what we want to do, and there's no shopping in between.
Right, and if you want to continue to shop, maybe this isn't the house.
Correct.
Maybe you're just settling. Matt, you're kind of a remodeler. You have another business. When people start going into a house and all of a sudden start wanting to move walls, what do you think of that?
It can be done, but it's not an easy or cheap process to do.
Right.
So I think that if they are trying to stick to a budget, then they need to keep that in mind and know that if they want to change this whole house around,
it's going
to be costly to do. Or is there a house that would fit better
without
right
you
off the
investing
top?
Well, let's say, I'm going to put $100,000 into the kitchen. I'm going to put $20,000 into this, $20,000 into that. Okay, well, why don't we just add $140,000 to your budget and find something that you don't have to do at all, and you can move into it and be happy on day one.
Right. I think there's some to that. I think there's also those people out there that just want it to be their own no matter what they buy. So they want to go in and they want to make the kitchen exactly like they want it. They want to make the bathrooms look, a lot better.
Betty White's house. They sold Betty White's house.
They tore Betty White's house down.
Yeah. Completely down. Who the hell tears down Betty White's house?
It must have just been a turd and the lot was
where Betty White laid her head.
So okay, so she's probably
the Brady Bunch house is still standing. Why wouldn't Betty White's house?
I think, and you know what? I would have given tours. I would have just left it just like it is.
I mean, it looked like it was right out of the 80s. The Golden Girls. It was perfect.
Perfect.
80s?
Perfect.
Was the 80s very good to you?
I miss the 80s. 80s were good to me. I like it.
All right. Next week you come in with big hair. All right, let's go back to the clip.
When a sale just isn't happening, commission impossible. Maybe for some people. Not sure if I mentioned it before, but the house does come with a hookup for a European washing machine.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, so sorry. It's the boss. Hey.
Hi, I'm on my way home. I've been calling Haley, but nobody's answering. Is everything okay there?
Everything here is great.
Oh, thank God. Did you put the chair out front?
Not yet.
Honey, you're gonna miss the trash pickup.
Don't worry, if they don't take it, someone else will.
Who was gonna pick up that ratty chair off our lawn?
Are you kidding? It's in great shape. Super cozy. People are always commenting on it. Trust me, it'll be gone by the end of the day.
Please just do it now.
I can't. I'm so sorry. When I'm done with these clients, I'll call Luke and Leon. I know I can talk them into it.
We are not losing this house to Luke and Leon.
What do you mean, call Luke and Leon? Aren't you at home?
No, I left right before you did.
Phil, the house, the kids. Oh, God, the squirrel.
Hello?
We'll take it.
Oh. Commission accomplished.
Not realistic.
I think that there's something to that, though. I think when
Probably
people
so,
will do crazy stuff to make sure someone else doesn't get it.
How often do you take a call when you're showing a house to clients?
I don't.
I don't either.
That part's not.
That's what I
realistic,
said. So how lucky can you get picking up a phone call?
I think it's the point that I get out of that, though, is that if you create a little bit of that urgency with a situation like that,
absolutely,
people don't want someone else to get something that they want, and so they're willing to jump at it.
Oh, and all,
even if they just like
reality.
it, but they don't love it.
I don't care if you haven't had any offers on the house. If you love the house, that doesn't
all of
mean
a sudden
the
there's two offers, right?
Correct, and that happens a lot.
Yeah,
it can be on the market for 100 days.
Oh, people think agents are full
I
of
love
crap.
This house. Well, somebody else just put an offer on it.
All right, do you hear yourselves? You're trying to create an urgency. Okay, you're kind of hoping that they kind of like it enough to be able to write up. This deal is going to blow up probably within 24 hours after these guys sign that contract and get accepted.
If Luke and Leon have anything to say about it.
Okay, it's going to blow up, right? Because the guy doesn't love it. He's not in love with it.
So what's the takeaway? There's a Luke and Leon out there that will take this house. So if you love the house.
Well, it's because Luke and Leon love the house. These guys don't love the house.
Right.
Actually, Luke and Leon would take the chair. But yes, I think
if you liked corn, whatever that corn was, if you like candy corn, and I said it right here and I was eating it, sooner or later you would reach over and grab a candy corn.
You know
now
what?
I know
don't
you
even
don't like
it, but I almost ate one.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's something I have that you don't, and you're going to take a piece of it just out of spite.
Dang,
and that's
what
had
me.
I know.
What I think is Willy Wong is
Willy who? Willy Wong?
Candy corn from my spear and a pickle stain.
Wait, who's Willy Wong?
Stained pickle.
Wait, who's Willy Wong?
Whatever you said before.
No, he said Willy Wong.
You did. John?
Fucking Willy Wonka.
You said Willy Wong.
So, hey, guys, that concludes our episode for this week. It was nice of you to all show up. I know some of you have been on vacation, Florida. You went to see your mom for her birthday, so I don't have anything negative to say about that. You're a good mama's boy. Okay. So this is the Rumble with Matt and John and Kelly today. And we'll see you soon on our next episode. I think it's going to be somebody from the U of A horse thing.
Woo-hoo!
Or it's going to be somebody. If you have any questions about today's show, feel free to reach out to us directly at Smith & Bollinger at longrealty.com. And always remember, we're here for you for all your real estate needs. Whether it's residential, commercial, investment, or land, we got you covered.